What is going on with Gunko? Scopper Gaban is so dead and Emu's power system is way too broken. And not only that, I am also going to explain why Emu is still not serious and his power is going to go even more higher from this point on. Stick till the end because it is going to be a banger video, but before that, one small request, and that is to like this video, share this video with your fellow One Piece and anime fans, subscribe to our channel Any Emotion. Now let's get back into the main video. So let us first talk about Emu because he is again going to be the main focus of this video and his power system is just way too broken. Emu can literally summon the main weapons of the ancient 19 kingdoms. Alabasta was part of the ancient 20 kingdom, but then Alabasta broke off and Emu got his heartfelt rejection from Lily from that point on. And till this date, Emu is still looking at Lily's picture. And Emu is still not gotten over his heartbreak. It is so wild to think that our king of the world is still after Lily. And it makes you wonder what will Emu do when he just sees Vivi in this day and age. But back to power system and Emu's weapons, if you just look at them, they are not supreme graded weapons. Maybe Nemesis is again a personal bias. I think Nemesis is the most coolest one. But again, maybe they are not supreme graded. But with the enhancement given to them by Emu's Omen ability, they might even be challenging enough for a supreme grade blade, and even some of them could turn into a supreme grade blade with the temporary power up given to them by Omen. And now that makes you wonder, why was Emu not using his strongest weapons? For example, the Void Sword from the very beginning. The Void Sword was so strong that it just pierced through Luffy without any resistance, and it did it with ease. Not that Emu didn't try, Nemesis also pierced through Loki with ease, but the Void Sword impact through Luffy was way more higher than what Nemesis did to Loki. Or maybe Loki, we saw Loki get stabbed a lot of times, so it just became, yeah, Loki is getting stabbed, he has a very high healing point, so he's going to be okay. But Luffy is not used to getting stabbed, so when we just saw Luffy getting stabbed, we are well shocked, and maybe the swords are of equal strength. But there is one bizarre thing that we all noticed in the last chapter, and that is the appearance changed by Omen. If you look closely to the sword currently used by Saint Summers, that is his ancestral sword, aka Gram. And when Emu used Gram, it looked completely different. But when Saint Summers is using Gram, it looks completely different as well. So we could easily deduct from there that the enhancement of Omen not only gave the weapons more power, but it also altered their appearance, and that is very important because this also gives us a little bit of hint about what Omen's real power is. Now it is going to sound a bit bizarre, but I think Omen is way more older than Emu. We know that Emu is from Void Century, but for me, I think that Omen is way older than Emu. The ability or the main thing that is Omen is from the time of Nika, and it is something that was forgotten by this world, and maybe, just maybe, Nika was the person that made everyone forgot that Omen ever existed to keep everybody in the world safe. Now I'm going to make a video about how Omen and Nika and Emu are connected and why Omen is going to be much more dangerous than Emu himself. So be sure to subscribe and keep an eye out because within this week we are going to drop that video, and it is also going to be a banger one, and I'm also going to explain why I think Omen is going to be way more older than Emu and maybe the rival of Nika himself. But back to Emu and why he is still not serious. We know from the last chapter that Emu could summon any weapon he wants. He just summoned the freaking axe because he wanted to just slice off Luffy. And then we got to see our Saint Mountain Eater himself, Scopper Gaban, jump in and save Luffy. We're going to talk about Gaban, but let us talk about Emu being unserious. If Emu could have just summoned any weapon he wanted, he could have just finished the fight in one chapter against both Loki, and then when Luffy transformed, he could have easily defeated Luffy. Heck, Luffy was eating his food. He didn't need to defeat Lugia 5th Luffy. He could have just easily defeated Luffy at that point. I think that Emu was enjoying his fight. It was after a long time. We all know that Emu just doesn't leave the castle of Marijua that easily. So after a long time, when he got to go out from his home caged castle, he just got to have some fun against someone like Loki who had the Nidhogg fruit. And again, Emu and Nidhogg are generally going to be connected because Emu seems to know Nidhogg. So it is going to be very important to see what their connection is because Nidhogg wasn't in the part of Void Century. Nidhogg is way more older. So when did Emu know about Nidhogg? We don't know. Again, I'm going to go back to that anomaly of Omen. Again, I think that is the main connection between all of them. But be sure to write your own theories. Why do you think there is inconsistency of Emu calling someone Nika, then Joy Boy, Nidhogg, Loki? His way of talking is very inconsistent. Be sure to write your own theories down in the comment section. But now let us talk about Saint Mountain Eater himself, Skoppergaban. Now I'm going to be honest and just going to spell this out. We all know this. Skoppergaban right now is currently effed up. Not only is our guy really injured from Gunko's arrows, he also got probably some kind of temporary treatment from Chopper, but he's not going to win against Emu. A probably peak level Skoppergaban was not going to be able to defeat Emu. He is not going to be someone that is on the level of Loki, currently prime Loki, and then Gear 5th Luffy. He never had a chance. He just got a glazing moment of saving Luffy because again Emu was somehow using an axe, and Skoppergaban is also the person who uses an axe, so it was a cool space in order to save Luffy because we all know Luffy is not going to die, right? Okay, he might just go down this time and just come back to life after a Joy Boy or Void Century flashback, because Elbaf is just going to be a flashback arc at this point. We got all the flashback right here. And Skoppergaban might just be the person who end up dead right here in Elbaf, because we need some kind of emotional damage from this arc, because it has been a long time since we got an emotional damage. Right, Kuma? Okay. We are going to get some kind of death in this arc because Emu is going to be way more relevant in the upcoming final war, and to make Emu a big merciless villain, he needs to do something big. And by big, I mean he's going to kill someone who slayed a giant woman somewhere else, not in the battlefield, and then Colin was there somehow. And this is going to do something big, and that is make us hate Emu even more. And to be honest, I did talk about it in an earlier video. You just don't need to go and watch that one. I'll go and say this right now. There are other few candidates who could also die right here in Elbaf, and Skoppergaban might be saved. The other candidates are going to be someone like Gunko, or even someone like Elder Yarl. Again, remember this, one of Emu's objective was to kill Elder Yarl in Elbaf, so we might just get to see that one. But again, Elder Yarl really kept the secret of King Harold and Loki, so maybe that secret is kind of out. The readers know what happened, maybe the villagers don't know what really happened, so Emu could still kill him and get some sort of victory through that. But now let us talk about Gunko. What the hell is even she doing? She was there in Elbaf as Gunko, then she became Emu, then she got stuck in ice. Emu arrived, Emu tried to just unfroze her, then Emu failed, and now Emu just threw Loki towards Gunko, and by the process of somehow, Loki's hammer struck the ice and now Gunko is free. That is what Gunko did in Elbaf. And what is she doing right now? She's going to have a very kind-hearted reunion with Brook. Again, we all know that Gunko till this date remembered Brook. She listens to his music, so they are going to have a heartfelt reunion, but it is going to get cut short because Emu is here and he's not going to like one of his servants really talking to someone like Brook. He also remembers Brook. The afro is the biggest giveaway, so there is going to be something big between Emu and Gunko versus Brook. And then there is also a plot of Jinbei maybe just picking up Ragnir. And finally, what is Usopp going to do? Usopp is there right now in Elbaf, and this is supposed to be his arc. His arc was supposed to be Elbaf. Again, he's not doing anything. Maybe this is the time he finally do something. He's not going to defeat Emu again, but maybe, just maybe, he might do something brave and just solidify himself as a brave warrior of the sea, which was again the dream of Usopp himself. But that will be it for today's video. If you guys watched till the end, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to our channel Anymotion, like this video, share this video with your fellow One Piece and anime fans. There are a lot of One Piece and anime videos in our channel. Be sure to check them out. I also made a video about the upcoming potential death and why their death is going to impact the story, how their death is going to be relevant for this Elbaf arc. I made that video last week. Go and check that one out. And if you guys want to watch One Piece content in Hindi, be sure to check out our Hindi channel Let's Play Anime. And with that out of the way, I am out. Peace.